Besides watching professional wrestling, what's the one thing professional wrestling fans love to do? That's collecting really cool professional wrestling stuff. And for the coolest stuff to collect, you need to head on over to Slowpoke Toys and Collectibles at slowpoketoys.com. Slowpoke Toys and Collectibles has the coolest professional wrestling merchandise that you could get. For example, here's a really cool item. This kendo stick pin, this broken kendo stick pin, really cool item. There's this broken table pin as well, really cool. We got the chair, which is really cool. If you're a fan of independent wrestling, some really cool stickers here. Support your local independent wrestling. Here's another really cool sticker. I love indie wrestling, and you get a full sticker sheet as well with all these items on it. Really cool stuff. Slowpoke Toys and Collectibles. And the great thing is they're adding new items all the time. So you're going to want to follow them all across social media on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can follow them on all social media at Slowpoke Toys. So follow them on Twitter, follow them on Instagram, follow them on Facebook at Slowpoke Toys, because again, they are adding new items all the time, so you're not going to want to miss out. You're going to want to keep up to date on all the new cool items that they're adding. Again, you want to go over to Slowpoke Toys and Collectibles right now and check out their stuff. And again, new stuff being added all the time. Slowpoke Toys and Collectibles. They have the toys you didn't know you needed. Hey folks, welcome to Shooting Up North. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin. We're right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching for the first time, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter at Shooting Up North, Instagram at Alliance PW Network, and feel free to join our Facebook group, The Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. And if you want to support the podcast in a very inexpensive way, if you're enjoying the content, if you're enjoying the channel, please consider purchasing a super thanks comment. It's a fun little comment that you can purchase here on YouTube. Under every podcast, you will see a icon. You'll see a thanks icon. Click on that thanks icon, and you could purchase a super thanks comment. They start about $2. It's a fun, colorful comment that you can leave. You get a fun animation. And in addition, you get a shout out from me here on the podcast. And there will be a credit page at the end of their very next pre recorded podcast. Thanking you again for purchasing the super thanks comment. So, again, if you're enjoying the content, if you're enjoying the channel, please consider purchasing a super thanks comment. And whether you do or you don't, I appreciate each and every one of you just the same. Okay, so a lot of people got on me. A lot of people got on me because I didn't talk about the hiring of Lou D'Angeli. D'Angeli. I hope I pronounced that right. Lou D'Angeli. The new he's going to be heading up Impact Wrestling's marketing department along with other backstage duties. I was away. Okay, I was away since Friday. Friday, Saturday, got back mid-afternoon on Sunday. I know this happened. This became news on September 15th. It's September 20th. I did my first Impact Wrestling news and notes and opinions yesterday because, again, I was gone for about 3 days. Didn't talk about it, and a number number of you subscribers let me have it, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. I didn't talk about it. So better late than never. So I'm just going to get it in here. Impact Wrestling bolstered their backstage crew with former WWE executive Lou D'Angeli. Again, I hope I got that pronounced right. PW Insider reports that the company has hired D'Angeli to head up their marketing department along with other backstage duties. He was backstage at the company's Slammiversary pay-per-view in June, and the site reports he was brought on as a consultant several months ago before being hired as a full-time executive. Recently, he worked initially in ECW and was eventually hired by WWE in 2006. He worked his way up to become director of marketing and was involved in WrestleMania Access. He left WWE to work for Cirque du Soleil, where he worked for 11 years as vice president of marketing, sales, and public relations. But now he works for Impact Wrestling, head of their marketing department. And man, oh man, they could use they could use his experience. He obviously has great experience working in marketing products, a company that he works for, marketing in the WWE, marketing in Cirque du Soleil. Uh, so he's got experience, and it's and Lord knows Lord knows Impact Wrestling could improve on their marketing. So I'm hoping Lou D'Angeli, who shares the same name as me, which is cool. I'm sure he's getting right to work. I'm sure he's looking at the pros and a lot of the cons, and there are very many cons of the Impact Wrestling marketing department, and I'm sure he's gonna whip them into shape. And I'm looking forward to Impact Wrestling, seeing what he brings to the table. And I'm sure he's going to bring a lot to the table in terms of marketing. So I'm very excited to see um, the next couple of months on what the Impact Wrestling marketing looks like in the advertising, because they've been doing the same thing for such a long time. For example, like with not Chris Jericho, say who can CM Punk. CM Punk, when CM Punk was signed by AEW, Impact Wrestling decided, oh, we're gonna go on we're gonna go on Twitter, and we're gonna market that CM Punk used to be in Impact Wrestling, and show some of his matches. I don't think that's the way to go. And that's one thing that I don't think they should be doing. Yeah, anytime somebody big like Kurt Angle, if Kurt Angle signs at WWE, oh, they'll show Kurt Angle matches. Bobby Roode wins a title in the WWE, they're going to show Bobby Roode matches on Twitter or Facebook or the social throughout the social media. That's not the way to do it, in my opinion. I mean, you got to market your guys, right? You got to market the guys that are in your company, And I'm not saying they don't. They do that, but I'm interested to see the direction Lou D'Angeli takes. Very excited about the prospects of the future. I should say I'm very excited about the future of Impact Wrestling marketing. So there, I talked about it. I apologize. I didn't speak about it sooner, but there you go. So I should have spoke about it sooner. I apologize to everybody. I couple of guys got on me about it, and hey, I'm sorry. I'm a human being. I had slipped my mind. I moved on. I moved on. I moved ahead. I should have talked about it, but there you go. So I mentioned it. Okay, so Maria Kanellis. Maria Kanellis, as we know, is going to be a free agent next month. It's just wrestling news here. It says Maria Kanellis will be a free agent next month, and I spoke about it briefly yesterday. She's had talks with the WWE and AEW. I've also mentioned that she's on a pay-per-appearance deal with Impact Wrestling until October 8th. That's through Bound for Glory. She said it's so hard to make decisions moving forward because I love what we're doing in Impact, and I know the possibilities of where we might go with it and where I might go with it as an individual. She says Scott Demore is a fantastic boss. Um, she said, I don't want to read the whole thing here, but after Ring of Honor, she said, Scott gave us an opportunity. It was really hard looking. Where do I go next? I talked to Tony Khan, I talked to Triple H, and I talked to Scott all the time. Recently, I talked to WOW, Israel Women of Wrestling. It's a very interesting time for me. It's about creating opportunities for all the women I'm working with now. Then she goes into this whole thing here. Then she goes to this whole thing here. This is Maria Kanellis, of course, talking. She says, not only that, but then there is the heart of me that says, when Mike, my husband, went to WWE, it was his ultimate dream to be in WWE. That's all he talked about. When he was a WWE person, he was a WWE person from the moment I met him. When we got to the WWE, and it was not the way we wanted it to go. I think for him, I think there's still a part of him that thinks there's unfinished business. I'm assuming she means in the WWE. For me, I don't know if you guys could see it, but when Bennett and Taven won the tag team titles, there were tears. They are my boys. Taven married us. I was literally standing with the both of them at my wedding, going, "You are my husband's best friend, and my friend, and this is my husband. We are family." The idea of the two of them walking out at WrestleMania and me managing them, of course, that's the thought that's in my mind. Then I look at AEW, where they have some greatest tag teams in the world, competition wise. There is that at AEW. The fact that they've never gotten there with FTR. I look at all of these things. Then where is Ring of Honor going to? I think it's an amazing time for wrestling right now. Okay, so she's on a pay-per appearance deal through October 8th. She obviously doesn't want to return to Impact Wrestling because she's here talking about the dream about going managing Taven and Bennett at WrestleMania, and then she talks about AEW, and then she said where Ring of Honor is going to. She mentioned all these in her closing comments here on the in this article here, Wrestling News, but she doesn't indicate. I wonder what would happen if we stayed with Impact Wrestling. She made it clear that her contract is up October 8th, paper appearance deal, and she's made it clear that she's hoping to get to WWE, AEW, or who knows, Ring of Honor. So I don't think she's sticking around. I don't think she's going to stick around past October 8th. I don't think Taven and Bennett will be sticking around. That's just my feeling. I have a feeling that they're going to get, if they get an opportunity to go elsewhere, they're going to take it. And of course, by all means, if they get an opportunity in the WWE, if they get an opportunity in the AEW, by all means, take it. But if you're under contract with Impact Wrestling, if you're working for Impact Wrestling through October 8th, if you're on a paper appearance deal, whatever it is, through October 8th, you're in Impact Wrestling. Yeah, she praised Impact Wrestling. She didn't speak bad about Impact Wrestling. She said she loves Scott D'Amore. She loves what's going on in Impact Wrestling, and that's great. But it's quite obvious that she's thinking past Impact Wrestling right now. October 8th is coming. Be here in 18 days or so, and she's thinking maybe, well, not, yeah, well, maybe 28 days, sorry, about a month. And oh no, 18 days, it's the 20th. Well, whatever, that just doesn't matter. She's thinking already that I'd like to speak with the WWE. I like to speak with AEW. I like to maybe see if I get back into Ring of Honor. That's what she's thinking about right now. And again, by all means, but I'm saying, if you're working with Impact Wrestling, just you know keep that stuff quiet until you're actually a free agent. Because how does that look? It's like, yeah, I work for Impact Wrestling. Yeah, I like what we're doing here, but I've talked to Triple H. I've talked to Tony Khan. Who knows where Ring of Honor is going? I'm interested about in that as well. You're working for Impact Wrestling. You show a little respect and just keep it Impact Wrestling until you're done with Impact Wrestling. Does that make sense? That's what I would do if I was under contract with Impact Wrestling until October 8th. I'm not going to jump on an interview and say, "Yeah, I'm under contract till October 8th with Impact Wrestling. I enjoyed my time here, but hey, I'm done October 8th, and I'm thinking WWE, I'm thinking AEW, I'm thinking Ring of Honor, I'm thinking Women of Wrestling. That's where my mind is at right now. I don't think that's very cool. I think it's very cool that you do that. That's just the way I feel. If you're with the company, show devotion to the company, show loyalty to the company until you're no longer with the company. And then you can negotiate with whoever the hell you want to negotiate. That's what I'm thinking. So on that, with that said, I'm saying that Impact Wrestling should immediately, immediately put the Impact Wrestling World Tag Team titles on Ace Austin and Chris Bay, the Bullet Club. I would put the titles on them immediately. Those are Impact Wrestling. They're under Impact Wrestling contract for a while. They're Impact Wrestling wrestlers. They want to be in Impact Wrestling. They're enjoying their time in Impact Wrestling. They go on social media and they defend Impact Wrestling. Those are company players. You have the titles on Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. Great tag team. There's no denying that they're an absolutely fantastic tag team, but their contract is coming up very soon, and there's no guarantee that they're going to stay. And when you look at the two teams that are going to be looking at title shots, you're looking at Aussie Open who are the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Tag Team Champions. They're under contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and you're looking at Motor City Machine Guns possibly. Chris Sabin under contract with Impact Wrestling, but Alex Shelley not under contract with Impact Wrestling. So if you put the titles on Motor City Machine Guns, and Tony Khan is like, I'd like to get Alex Shelley in Ring of Honor. I'm going to offer him a nice contract. He offers Alex Shelley a nice contract. Alex Shelley signs it. Boom. What do you do with the tag team titles? That's why. That's why I think they should put the tag team titles on Ace Austin and Chris Bay ASAP and let them hold the titles for a while. Develop some new tag teams in Impact Wrestling. Bring some indie tag teams in. Develop them. Develop new tag teams. Develop homegrown tag teams, and have them chase Chris Bay and Ace Austin. I would keep the titles on them for a while. That's what I do. And of course, if you are able to sign Mike Bennett and Matt Taven to not to like another 3-4 month contract, to a long-term deal, to a 2-3 year deal, by all means leave the titles on them. If we're able to sign them to a long-term deal, by all means. But I have a feeling that AEW or WWE are going to be interested in Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, and they're going to jump at the opportunity. They're going to jump at the opportunity. I'm not saying I wouldn't do the same thing. I'm not saying I wouldn't do the same thing. More money, bigger company, a lot more money. WrestleMania is the dream of so many professional wrestlers. Um, but I think they're gonna head up there. So that's why I would take the titles off them as soon as possible. And don't put it on Aussie Open. Don't put the titles on the Motor City Machine Guns. They've had the title so many times. There, we need a new, fresh team to build. Ace Austin, Chris Bay are the perfect tag team, and they're a great tag team. Yes, they lost to Aussie Open. It was a great match, but I will put the titles on Chris Bay and Ace Austin ASAP. You can put the titles on Aussie Open if you want, but what if a New Japan Pro Wrestling says, "All right, you know what? We don't want to send Aussie Open. We can't send them there anymore. So I'm sorry." And then what? They're gonna vacate the titles, So anything can happen like that. You put the titles on someone who's under contract with the company, who are company players, who love being there, who defend Impact Wrestling whenever they can on social media. And I've seen it many times. Ace Austin and Chris Bay defending Impact Wrestling, and I will put the tag team titles on them immediately. But that's just me. That's just me. Okay, so that's it for me. That's it for me. Anything breaks, of course, I'll be watching. But until then, thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye. And stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye bye.